Hey guys, it's another wonderful day here on the Roy Durham Show. So today is a bit of a rant kind of day for me. Today I want to talk about how stupid war is and why it doesn't help anyone or their economy. Okay, so there's like this stupid fallacy out here that basically says war will help the economy. It will make the economy grow. Well, guess what, guys? That's wrong. Okay, so there's this thing called the broken window fallacy. It was talked about by Friedrich Bastiat. I want to say around the 1600s or so. And this is what the guy basically had said. He had said that if, let's say, a kid came by the baker shop and this kid threw a rock at his window and ran away, well, the baker now has to pay 6 francs to fix his window, or $6, if you will. And everyone on the outside sees this as a great thing because he just helped grow the economy. He helped provide a job for the guy who's replacing windows. What the public doesn't see is what that money could have been used for instead. Maybe he could have got himself a pair of new shoes, maybe he could have got himself a brand new book, maybe he could have got himself something that would enhance his productivity at the bakery. That's what we don't see. We don't see the lost opportunity. And that's why they call it the broken window fallacy, because we assume that this destruction has created something of value, when in reality it's replacing something that was of value. And this is war in a nutshell. So people make the assumption that because we have a factory that's building bombs, it's creating something of value. No, it's going to create something that doesn't create any wealth whatsoever. Bombs are not wealth. Alright, when you think about it, a bomb is this. This is what a bomb is. It is a thing that we've pieced together whose sole purpose is to destroy something and then blow up. So we're putting time, effort, and money into something that's meant to destroy itself and everything around it. Wealth is this concept of hoarding energy, hoarding time, and being able to transfer it into the future where it could be of a benefit to people and allow people to grow and be prosperous. It could be a basis points to build off of, ideally. That's wealth, okay? That's real wealth. Here's what the bomb does. It sucks that up. And after sucking that up, and we fly a plane over a building, and we drop that bomb's hurling downward, and it lands on something. Guess what that depending on what it lands on, depends on how much damage it's created to the whole of economies. Not just our economy, but the other person's economy. So let's say it landed on a factory, okay? A factory that produced, let's say, tires, or even better, automobiles. That factory that was producing automobiles is no longer producing automobiles now, which means people who needed those vehicles to extend their reach, to get around in the economy a little bit better, maybe someone went to buy a brand new truck to transport more goods in the future. Maybe, we want to go ahead and build more cars to lower the price of them, so even poor people could buy cars now. Well, you can't do that now because the factory's been destroyed. And now you need to go ahead and replace everything about the factory first before you can even, begin going into making cars again. And that's assuming that most of the factory's still okay. There's basically been, by and large, untouched by this one bomb dropping on top of the factory. Now, let's compound this in a war scenario where we're not even dealing with just a normal factory here that made cars. In a wartime scenario where country A is bombing country B, usually when they bomb them, country A is trying to bomb their war production factories. Well, let's rewind time on this car factory here. Okay, so this car factory here is no longer being used anymore by country B to produce cars. It's now being used to produce tanks. Well, it's being produced to use tanks now. Well, that's still a drain on the economy, because now you're taking this massive 5-10 ton thing that you're building that's meant to destroy more stuff, and you're not using it to help produce anything of value in the economy. People still aren't getting their cars. They still aren't having their needs of transportation being met here. If anything, because you're making tanks, you're intending to invoke more war by sending those tanks to another country and destroy their stuff. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to send bombs over here to destroy that plant. And when they go off and they destroy that plant, there's a good chance there's going to be what this thing is called collateral damage. So they're not only going to destroy the factory here, they're probably going to destroy all the roadways going to the factory. They're going to destroy the steel mills. They're going to destroy all the rubber to stop the treads from being made. They're going to destroy all the refineries, the oil refineries, to prevent them from having fuel and oil for their machinery. They're trying to destroy everything in their economy to stop the war plants. Okay? Well, all those things that go to the war plants, well, they, in normal peace times, go to everyone else in the civilian population. So that means whenever you see high gas prices, recognize that a good chunk of that fuel is already being spent in the war machine. And if it's being spent in the war machine started by the governments, then that means that's less oil for you to use, for you to buy, which increases the price for you to consume. So there's this idiot out here. His name is Paul Krugman, and he's an idiot of the highest caliber. He really is. He actually went on to, I believe it was either MSNBC or CNN, and he had made this outrageous statement where he said the best thing for the U.S. economy, this was a few years back, he said the best thing for the U.S. economy was for an alien invasion to take place, because then we would take the whole deficit spending, the whole interest rate on the debt, we put it all on the back burner, and then we would gear our entire economy to destroy these aliens that are invading us. And his line of thinking is that we're going to hire all these great people here to work at our factories. They're going to build all these tanks, all these guns, all these bombs. We're going to build everything we possibly can. We're going to build the biggest war machine ever, and we're all going to do it to destroy these aliens here. Okay, this is stupid. This is really, really stupid. First off, if we're gonna have an alien invasion here, they came from somewhere else, like light years away. They're probably gonna have better technology than us. So I mean, let's just get that out of the way first. Okay, we're probably not gonna kill those guys. Second, okay, here's where this is also stupid. You've got like all of your entire economy's resources being consumed by the government and being spent on guns and weapons. I'm sorry, but if you're a civilian, you take a back burner to everything. You do. So all that money that you could have used that's being taken from you in the form of taxes that you were going to use to expand your peaceful farm, that you were going to use to expand your bakery, that you were going to use to go ahead and expand your private school maybe to accept more kids and give them a brighter future. It's now being stolen, it's now being taken, and it's now going to be turned into a frickin' bullet to kill some guy you don't know anything about, whose culture you know nothing about, whose religion, whose policies of their country, nothing. You know nothing about them, and we're gonna kill that guy. Just randomly. Bam! He's done. And we did it with your resources, which you had no chance at telling the government, no, you can't do that. But to tone it back down a little bit, to wind it back a little bit, there's nothing positive about war. And there's especially nothing positive about an economy based on war, because that economy is inevitably going to fail. I think in the last few decades we've spent trillions and trillions of dollars trying to fuel our war machine. This is under the Bush administration, this is under the Obama administration, and hopefully this won't be the case under the Trump administration, though I'm not led to believe otherwise necessarily. I'm hoping that it will be different this time, though. Government is government. It's going to do what a government's going to do. This is the life and blood of the state, war. To get people angry, to get people upset, to get them fearful, and to cling to the warlords of our world, and to ask them to protect us. That is the lifeblood of the state. But it's helpful to know this stuff. It's helpful to understand this stuff so that way we can actually sit down and talk about it. And when we talk about it, maybe we can come up with a solution. Maybe we can get the numbers needed to show people, to tell the rest of the population that this is a bad idea. And we have enough people, enough bodies here in our little anti-war movement. Then the government can't ignore us. Then it has to sit down and say, listen, unless I want a full-on revolt, I gotta stop this. But here's another important reason why you want the end of war, and another reason why you want the entire concept of the war economy to be defeated, to be debunked, finally, is because if it is actually true that if we have a war economy and that it's actually prosperous, And that means we can put a good price on human life, meaning there are people who are more valuable to us dead than they are alive. Well, if they're more valuable to us dead than they are alive, then you can make a good argument as to why killing poor people would be a positive for your economy. Now, if you don't consider yourself the wealthiest person in the world, here's a hint. That might mean that you're on that list of people that they would like to see killed. If we're going to make this argument here, and this is the logical conclusion of that argument, you would be the person on that list for killing. Okay, that's the reality of it, guys. So, let's all agree on this, that a war-based economy is always bad. It's morally bankrupt, and we will have nothing to show for it at the very end. And the last thing we also need to agree on, guys, is that killing people is not a good thing. That it's not going to support our economy. It's not going to help us. Doesn't matter how violent or how crazy that we think they are. It's better to not have bombs dropping on a foreign land just for them to drop on our land and to go back and forth destroying generations of wealth. Anyways, guys, that's the that's my rant for the day. I'll see you guys later. Just one more show I'm doing. Goodbye.